Hello, hello, welcome, and hello, and also welcome. Today, I don't know if this is going to work. Shit. So today we are not going to have the spectrum analyzer, I guess, because the adapter for my third monitor died. We had a power outage. Yeah, so rip spectrum analyzer, and also the whatever the other thing I had was. Let me just turn that on. And oh no, we want, whoa, easy there, Nick. We want one of these things. Where did my monitor go? As you can see, oh, it's because it doesn't, it's all, I see. Oh, that sucks. That's fine. I gotta find, let's see, it's this, it's not that one, it's this one, and then this has to be this one, there. All right, we're all good, whatever. It'll be back for next, I gotta go on Amazon and order a, whatchamachingamabobber, adapter. We had a power outage, and apparently it didn't like that because I came in and couldn't get the monitor to work. So, but are you surprised? I am not. Let's move the Numi track up. I also closed the submissions early because I usually keep an eye on the Discord on that monitor, but oopsies. As per my previous sentence, that's no longer a thing. It's got quite the gangster lean, doesn't it? It's less of a gangster lean. Okay, anyway, let's listen to some music. Numi, where is your track? This is why I like to have the name. Okay, hold on. Numi. Take Me All the Way. Okay. Oh, maybe it's at the end. It's a remix. Take Me All the Way. All right, shift that up to the top and away we go. Never a dull moment around here. All right, let's have a listen, and let me pull up the ozone. Cool. Let's have a listen. I deleted the track.
What can I say? No one else can make me feel this way. Now you like the thrill, you like the chase. I just wanna give it all away. Is that okay?
So what is this, a remix or is this all original?
You get me excited, sure enough. Baby, don't rush. Put me in the mood. Love me like you do. You're my sweet escape. Take me all the way. This kind of love, you're the one that I've been dreaming of. In you I can fully put my trust. Tell me what.
Yeah, this is super dope. I think, if anything, maybe I feel like the drums are kind of the same throughout the whole track. Maybe drop them out, strip them bap it a bit,
Connected, so baby, don't run.
Like we constantly have that shaker with the reverb every like 2 and 4, you know what I mean? So maybe try to switch that up a little bit. Maybe like especially maybe in this moment.
This kind of love, you're the one.
Just to give it a bit more dynamics and a bit more defined sections, you know, because it's all great and it's all very smooth and sounding amazing. I just think that if you switched up the drums a little bit to like, okay, now we're gonna really maybe it's like a tight like a little clap instead, and then when it swells up to the chorus, now we get the reverby tambourine shaker hit thing for the snare.
Tell me what you want and I'll adjust. Is that too much? Now you wanna put the pressure on. You take control, I'll be the only one you.
Another thing I would say is like the track doesn't ever feel like it has like a pre-chorus moment. So maybe take the drums out altogether, just instrumentation, build it up, and then we get the chorus again. I just kind of feel like at the start we got to a place and we've stuck to that place. The vocals are going hard. You got big swells of harmonies and stuff. So there's lots of dynamics in the vocals, the instrumentation as well. You've got some strings coming and going, but I do feel like the drums just kind of there's no chance to like have a moment. It's like the whole track is one moment where it should have individual moments throughout as like landmarks for the listener to be like, oh, here comes that part where everything drops out and it gets kind of real quiet and then it builds up and it swells into this big chorus with the harmony.
This supernatural, you get me excited, sure not. Baby, don't rush, put me in the mood. Love me like you do.
Yeah, okay, so that's obviously the chord.
Put the pressure on, you take control, I'll be the only one you want. Connected, so this love is supernatural. You get me excited, sure not. Baby, don't rush, put me in the mood.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because it's a slow track, right? So you don't want to ruin the pace by dropping everything out for an extended period of time. But somewhere around here, if it dropped out and it was more a little bit intimate about the vocals and you're building up anticipation for the chorus, because if you just listen to the chorus on its own,
Baby, don't rush.
it's super good. I just feel like it wasn't set up like the punchline of the joke is dope, but the setup for the punchline didn't do it justice. It's not necessarily that the other parts are bad. They just don't set the listener up to fully capitalize on how good that chorus is. And I also think that your string kind of dun 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 dun, whatever that is, it's very subdued. I think it could come up in the mix too because it's very good.
Love me like you do. You're my sweet escape. Take me all the way. You're my sweet escape. Take me all the way. Take me all the way. Take me all through.
Yeah, she's great. She's really, really good on the vocals. I think you have a lot of great ingredients here. I think it just needs to be shaken up a bit. Um, I think if I were to make an analogy, as I commonly do, um, you've got like this, like the chorus is like I picture like she's like jumping around on stage, and there's like pyrotechnics going off, and there's like she's whatever that ribbon thing is for interpreted dance. It's all very big, but in certain moments I want her to get off the stage and come right up and like hold my face and sing at me, like get real close to me or like right in my ear. And then she runs back on stage, and it's that's like the dynamic that I think I'm looking for, is that kind of intimate, strip everything back for certain parts, get right close to me, cuddle up to me and deliver those vocals, and then like push me away playfully and run back on stage and do pyrotechnics. And the last technical thing I would say about this is the vocals could use just a little bit of de-essing. I wouldn't go super hard, but there are some S's that are just a little pokey. Not really a huge deal, but I thought I'd mention it. But yeah, it's dope. It's really good, honestly. Hope that helps. All right, let's move on. Freeze. Police. My part of collab. Okay.
Shooting star on a crosshair, cast my space, distort our base. Twisted look upon my face. You saying who if I set pace? Nobody else is involved in a race. These men, helium. Drop that bar in a wheelie bin. City strapper, I'm not believing him. City trapper, I'm not believing him. If I was you, man, I wouldn't be seen with him. Keen to my conjurer, northeast, south.
This is dope. But it's all in the middle. Like there's not a whole lot going on inside.
Helium, drop that bar in a wheelie bin. City strapper, I'm not believing him. City trapper, I'm not believing him. If I was you, man, I wouldn't be seen with him. Embarrassing if he talks out.
Especially because the vocals kind of sound like they have a bunch of delay or like time-based effects on them, but it's very mono. So there's a whole lot of stuff piled up. Like I have to like look past a whole lot of things to see certain parts. If you want to make a fire track, do you have to worry about clipping? I would say you'd have to worry about it if it sounds bad. And I know that that's a cop-out answer, but it really is the truth. But yeah, I think the biggest thing about this is I really like this track, honestly. And if it was in a bar or a club or whatever, and I couldn't really tell like stereo image, I wouldn't have any issues with it. I'd be like, this is fucking dope. But listening to it on headphones or speakers or something where we have a stereo field to play with, there's just a lot of stuff in the center. I don't know what, because it kind of sounds like you grabbed the vocals from something, and maybe you're stuck with whatever stereo image is in the vocals from whatever you grabbed them from. But if I were you, if you're able to, I would dry the vocals out, keep them in the center, have some delay effects and stuff to spread them out, but keep them focused in the center and do some stuff with the bass. Because if you think about it, you have drums, bass, and vocals.
I'm not believing him. If I was you, man, I wouldn't be seen with him. Embarrassing if he talks out something, him grabbing him and kidnapping him. Now they only.
And they're all mostly in the center. So I would probably spread, I'd maybe do a sub separation on the bass. So have like a sub bass that's dead in the center and it's providing a nice solid bottom end. But then when you got like your detuned kind of UK bass line sounding bass, spread that out somehow. Use unison, maybe add some layers to it, clone your track, your synth, and do some stuff to push it out to the sides. I just don't think you're fully using the stereo field. I think that's the biggest problem here.
Well, I'm all like my conqueror. War me, better off death for the opera. Couldn't see my steps with binoculars. Won't stop till I'm prosperous. Known to react like phosphorus. I said, nobody's with nobody's. Case and casket closed. I'm so sorry. Me wagon called sweat. No Molly, no bacon. We don't like no bobbies. No brown, no white, just Mary Jane. Dealers like Rooney, hair again. Lick shots at strikers, play for Spain. This journey storm, don't fear the rain.
Because like if I just solo the side channels, you can really hear the lack of things. It almost just kind of sounds like the reverb is the only thing contributing to the side channel. It also sounds like the vocal is ripped from an MP3, if I'm being honest. There's a lot of like crunchy distortion that doesn't necessarily sound intentional. But the track is dope, dude, honestly. I think you might be able to get away with the vocals the way they are if you are like, okay, the vocals are very busy in the center. So anything else has to, you know, at least have some side information to kind of clear a path for those vocals. And if the delay is baked into the vocals from whatever you grabbed them from, then you're kind of sunk a little bit. You kind of have to work with what you got, right? But I don't know. That's what I think. I think it's dope. The groove and the bass line is sick. Like, it's like, it makes me think of like a movie where somebody's like robbing a bank or something. All right, dude, no worries. It'll be on YouTube. Okay, that's what I got to say. Good job. Felix Archive, perfect. Well, that's optimistic, isn't it?
I like you and your style, you say hi to me. It's your eyes and your smile, the way you treat me. New experience, why you talking to me? Dancing was the most fun in the world, why did you leave me? I like you and your style.
So, like, this is super cool, but I'm not a fan of the piano sound. I think I like what the piano is doing. I like the notes and everything, but it's too MIDI piano, not very loud. It's kind of buried in there. It just doesn't sound like an interesting piano. It just kind of sounds like, oh, that's a piano sound. But then like the beat and the everything else is super cool, but the piano just doesn't seem to be keeping up with the quality of the rest of the shit. There's like a little click here. I don't know if it's the end of a loop or I don't know what it is, but
I like you and your style, you say hi to me. It's your eyes and your smile, the way you treat me.
I don't know if I'd take the bass line out of this section because it loses its power. And if you're trying to switch it up, you just put the vocals up an octave. That's a pretty big change. I'd probably keep the bass line in there.
Don't you get it? It was perfect.
Here's what I would do. I'd keep the bass line going through here, and then I wouldn't break down, but I'd pull stuff out and maybe have a build up in this section. Because to me, the energy is kind of low, high, low, high. Like, it doesn't really feel like we're going in a direction. It kind of feels like it's oscillating up and down because of the bass line not being here. Then the bass line is here. Then the bass line isn't here. Then the bass line is here. But the drums kind of stay the same the whole time. So I think if you did this, kept the bass line in it, and maybe have like a build up or something in this section to build up to like the chorus or the drop. I really like the clap. I think the clap is dope.
I like you and your style, you say hi to me. It's your eyes and your smile, the way you treat me.
But again, if you think about like the track and what has changed, you kind of have that just kind of going the whole time. So dropping that out during certain parts, switching it up a bit, so, you know, that's going to add some interest and some intrigue. I'm hearing audio dropouts, and it's making me nervous, to be honest.
Don't you get it? It was perfect. And you get it.
I think you have most of the ingredients you need. I think they're just not presented or arranged in a way that's super inspiring. I think you know to create more flow and more of a storyline as opposed to just kind of adding and subtract. The biggest thing that's changing is the vocals and the bass line. You're taking the bass line in and out. You've got this like square wave plucky thing, which is really cool, but it just kind of came out of nowhere. There was no teasing, there was no build up. It just was like, hey, there we go. I just got dropped off. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this track. I think you got lots of cool elements, and I like the pace of it. It's fast, it's kind of relentless. But I think the arrangement is the issue here. So maybe try to think of more strategic ways of building our anticipation, delivering on it, breaking down, etc., creating a storyline. I think that's what you got to focus on. All right, very cool. Let's and that piano just doesn't sound great to me. So take that with a grain of salt. Let's move on. Faye, Hugh, and author unknown. was dope. That sounded great. I think I have 2 notes on this. I think that the building us up to this drop would probably be like, don't get me wrong, sometimes it's good to like catch me off guard, but I feel like if there was just a bit more of a build up, like production wise, to get us ready for like this crazy sound design drop, I think that might make this moment more satisfying and less surprising. I think sometimes it's a trade-off, and I'm just coming up with this idea right now, so it may not make sense, but I think there's a trade-off between surprising somebody and making satisfying somebody, because in order for a satisfaction to happen, there has to be some level of anticipation, right? And expectation. There has to be some level of anticipation and expectation. And then to satisfy somebody, you have to at least, at the bare minimum, meet their expectation, if not exceed their expectations, and that would be very satisfying, right? So right now, we didn't have an expectation leading up to that drop. There was no expectation of sound design. It was just kind of chugging along, doing like I'm on an adventure in the desert, on mushrooms or something vibe. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, wicked sound design. So I think if there was a bit more teasing and building up to the drop, it would be more satisfying. And I hope that makes sense. The next thing is I would maybe just experiment and try, instead of a square wave for this lead, try a sawtooth wave. Because a square wave, I always find, has a certain level of like innocence to it, or playfulness, lightheartedness, whimsicality, if you will. A sawtooth has a bit more grit to it. It sounds a bit more serious, a bit more dramatic. So I don't know, just maybe try replacing this, like the notes, effects, everything the same. Just change the bass waveform to like a sawtooth. It's got teeth, right? Besides that, it's dope. It's a really cool journey. It's very cinematic. It gives me you can envision many things happening, most of which are happening on a mystical desert island on mushrooms. Cool. That's what I got to say. Good job. Let's check out Aiden Dodge's track, Thoughts I Withhold, plus Chaotic Relaxation. 2 tracks in one project. That sounds like a cheat. Okay, what I want you to actually, I'll do it right now. Check this out. This is hilarious. Hold on. Anyway, that's what this intro is reminding me of. Not in a bad way. I think you could probably combine these two sections. See you, Numi. Excuse me. I think like lengthwise, you could probably kind of. I'm not saying to just do it this way, but I feel like these two sections could maybe be one. I feel like when it's going the way it's going, we're just sitting around waiting for that next section. But the pacing just feels a little slow. So I would probably do that. I would cut half and half and somehow make that make more sense than just doing a straight up cut. But anyway. Are there gonna be vocals in this, or what's gonna are you planning to have vocals, I guess, is the question that I could have just asked as one question, but I'm still talking about it. I mean, like, if there's gonna be vocals and stuff, these parts kind of drag on a little bit, but the vocals will change that. I think the piano. I think you got to lose the piano at some point. Like we've had that piano going now for quite a while without changing, right? So maybe this section, I don't know what's going to happen with the vocals. Maybe take the piano out and just have it more like vocal, bass, and drums. Liquid bass and drums. The arpeggiating piano thing kind of sounds like Chocolate Rain to me a little bit. Like it's kind of rigid. It kind of I don't know if I really like it, to be honest. I don't mind the notes it's doing, but it might sound a little better on like a plucky synth as opposed to a piano, because I don't believe that is a piano player playing that piano as a piano player, as a player of the piano. It just sounds like it sounds like the way a MIDI roll looks like. Nah, it's not just the velocity, like it's just like, to me, this is what the piano player would be doing. So it's just, to me, it's a straight up. It sounds like a straight up arpeggiator. It would make more sense on a synth. Like then all of a sudden, the fact that it's like dooty 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 doo, it makes sense. It's a synth playing an arpeggio, right? So it's not just the velocity. There's no variation in rhythm. It's just straight eighth notes. So I don't know. You could try to like band-aid it and make it sound like a person actually played it, but it just doesn't sound like a part that would be played on the piano to me. Anyway, let's keep going. You could actually play it, but you might find that it feels kind of unnatural to play, but you could try it. I don't know. I don't know why why don't you just try a synth? Maybe it will sound better, I don't know. But yeah, so overall, I would say, well, obviously the vocals are going to help a lot. Shorten these two sections. I don't love the arpeggiated piano, and I think you should, if you look at how often, or if you look at the track that has the chords on it, it sounds like once you start playing them, they just go the entire time. So keep that in mind and give us a break from them every once in a while. And I think that'll go a long ways. Okay, cool. Let's move on. All right, next up we got Zetmo, Dream. Wow. So, here's what I think. I think there's a lot of really cool things happening. But the one problem that I think Johnny Gamble mentioned is that it's a bit demanding to listen to. And wow. I'd like to maybe make an observation. So, on the x-axis, we have time. On the y-axis, we have, oh, fuck, here we go. Oh, this is hard. Oh, wow, this is maybe the hardest thing I've done all day. I was going to do, no, I'm not going to cop out. I don't know why that was so difficult, but it was. And this is what your track does. And hey, I love complexity. I grew up listening to IDM, like Aphex Twin, BT, all that stuff. I love that stuff. But there has to be a balance between complexity and maybe musicality. That, at least for my taste. Some people would listen to this and their brains would be like, "Yes, give me all the complexity." But I think if you could temper or perhaps um okay, for the sake of this, we're gonna this is now a logarithmic scale vertically, so I'm not gonna show you all the way up there because it's too hard to draw. Um, you know, it could be super complex, but if certain moments it comes down and specifically perhaps right here. Like you've got kind of the wishy-washy Foley kind of waterfall drippity droppity droops, like all the on the sides and stuff. Maybe like hold back on some of that stuff for some of the time, because the problem is that if it's full complexity the whole time, then it's just you don't get the drama of the complexity because you get used to it. It just sounds like Johnny said, it's demanding to listen to. Your ears are like constantly bombarded with stuff. But if you like drop us down to a more like harmonic, bass driven, like same musical, but just strip back some of the IDM stuff. Then when you finally decide to go back full complex, all of a sudden that's another big moment. So you've got two big moments here. Not to say, I mean, you do have big moments in your track with the swells and the dropouts and stuff like that. But like this is a big moment. This is a big moment. And you can achieve that without just by stripping some of those Foley sounds. Join, get ads. Yeah, that's right. I really need to earn that $9 a month, See, like when you switch to this section, maybe you bring some of those complex Foley sounds into it. That's how I would do it. I would say, okay, this is a lever I have. I have the complexity lever, and I'm going to use that to create movement in this track. I'm going to use the complexity lever to create moments and drama and a storyline. And I feel like you have broken the complexity lever off in the up direction, and it is now 200 miles away. I'm not saying it's too complex. I'm just saying that the whole track is kind of noise in a certain sense. Like I get the start of it. I was struggling to hear the music in it because I'm like trying to oh, what key is it in? What's the chord progression? These are things that we try to listen for when we listen to a song. We're trying to understand what we're listening to, and it's very hard to understand this section. But I do understand that it's kind of experimental. So I'm not saying you should dilute that, but I am saying that you should maybe try for this section. Maybe just chill out on some of the Foley sounds so that you can bring them back in at a later time and it becomes a moment. Besides that, it sounds dope. It's very cool and very unique. So good job on that. All right, let's move on. Zephrinth, old 1 hour beat. That doesn't look like it's 1 hour long. On Twitch, it says you stream Tarkov. Yeah, I know. I changed the title of the stream, but I failed to change the category because Will and Kappa and I were playing Tarkov last week. I love it. I would maybe put it there. Okay, so right off the bat, I got two notes. The piano feels rigid to me, kind of same sort of note as I said to Aiden earlier. It sounds like something that a piano player would play, but it's just a little too the velocity doesn't change. The timing is very perfect. It doesn't feel human to me. You know, like it's like everything is locked to the 8th note grid. Like even just switching this note so it was kind of like, this is going to sound terrible, but maybe it might make sense. You know, like switching up the rhythm a little bit. That feels very robotic, but you know what I mean? Like if everything is just here are your options, they're all 8th notes, then that doesn't feel very human to me. It's almost like you're like color by numbers, you know? Here are your available 8th notes, sir. Please pick some. That's what it sounds like to me. The next thing is the 808 is like very overbearingly loud compared to the rest of the track. And like, I know you want your 808s banging and booming and you know, whatever the other words that you would use to describe good 808s, but it almost sounds like the track is like, oh fuck, every time the 808 hits, it's like, ah shit, you know, it backs up a little bit. So in fact, I think you might actually be causing your master limiter to duck when the 808 hits. Because when the 808 hits initially, the rest of the track kind of sounds like it's like, you know? So I would chill out on the 808 a little bit.
That's right. Well, they are telling you. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's right. What does he say?
That's right.
So yeah, I think this is a good start. It's cool. I like the chord progression. The beat's pretty cool. I think like switching it up at some point would probably be a good idea. Because we kind of have that same piano chord progression the entire time. Yeah, so trying to find maybe a different chord progression to switch back and forth between might let the track feel a little less repetitive, I guess you could say. I like the melody. So you could maybe play that melody on a different instrument or like a sexy chromeo kind of synth or something like that. But I think you're off to a good start. Pretty good for 1 hour, I would say. All right, let's check out Unnamed Beat 611. Okay, I'm on board. It's cool, but why are the drums on the left, or I guess the right side? Dude, the whole track has a gangster lean. Check that out. Don't know how that happened. My fault. Ignore. So this is cool, and I'm glad that I figured out that it was me that was panning it. Anyway, that was funny. I would say the kick is a little weird. Like it's very knocky, but not very like it doesn't have much punch to it. Yeah, I kind of feel like if anything, I mean, this sounds like a cool beat for there to be rap on top of. And yeah, it would light up all the LEDs on the knock detective. So without vocals, you know, it sounds like a beat for vocals to be on, but that's a given. The only real advice I think I have on this one is maybe just experiment with some different kick drums. This kick drum just doesn't sound that great to me. The rest of the track sounds dope. I mean, it sounds very like there'd be a skirt or like a brep or you know, like those vocal things on them. Anyway, I don't really have much to say about it. It's cool. Try a different kick drum. The end. I'm sorry if that wasn't very helpful, but you did a good job. So, all right, let's move on. Tento to Switchblade.
It's the heart, opening the scar. That you be anybody watching from afar. Nothing but a lie, pretend to be a star. We see right through you, you fucking live lies. Nobody is safe, nobody is blessed. Nobody can answer your stupid little games. Artificial style, artificial life. I see right through you, you fucking live lies. Everybody's saying now, I see what they're saying now. Playing little steady, even though there's no way now. Deep in your bullshit, tell us what the point is. Why you always stoop so.
Okay, I could not recall a single word that he said.
Nothing but a lie, pretend to be a star. Through you, you fucking live life. Everybody's saying now.
Okay, that thing and the vocals do not go well together. I can't hear a single word on the vocals. I think if you
right through you, you fucking live life. Everybody's saying now.
I would have at this moment right here.
Everybody's saying now. Everybody's saying now.
I would have kick drum, snare, vocal, bass, and maybe a very simple hi-hat going along. Everything else, get rid of it and let it be more about this dirty beat and the dirty vocals. But you might have to clean up the vocals a little bit because I don't know, maybe getting rid of all of the other stuff that's getting in the way of the vocals might be enough, but you might also have to treat the vocals differently to have them cut through better. But you got too many elements that are fighting with each other. I think you need to choose parts of the song for parts of the song, if that makes sense. You know, like certain instruments and stuff can have their time to shine, but there's just the vocals and all the other stuff are really fighting each other. Is that bit speak? And I think you did a high pass. You did a drum, or you did a DJ effect there. You did a DJ effect there too. I don't know. I think you should do DJ effects when you're DJing. I'm not a big fan of DJ effects in this, like baked into the song. I would be careful of that 300 hertz area. It's getting real resonant-y. I think this part would go so hard if you took most of the elements out besides like the bass, the drums, and the vocals. I still can't tell you a single word he said in this entire time. And that's not necessarily always an issue, you know, like I don't need to understand every word, but I think I should be able to understand some words. Yeah, I think that's my main note is just like the vocals just do not cut through. There's a lot of stuff in the way. I think you need to simplify, and strategically use all those crazy synth sounds in certain areas that are like, hey, this is the crazy synth part. Hey, this is the beat and the vocal part, you know? Like I think that's going to go a long ways. And then be careful in that swell with the vocoder thing. It's very resonant-y, like almost sounds like a 300 hertz sine wave. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's dope. Yeah, I mean, like. Is that a Nexus piano? I don't know. Anyway, cool. Thank you for sending. Stubborn. Mayhem. Is that like Rayhem, but starts with an M? There's a bit of a sour note in there. No, there's like there's a spicy note that I don't like in that last chord. So another thing is this synth is very basic sounding, you know, like it's got a low pass that goes wow and then just sits at for a very long time until we get the next note. So I feel like there could be some, you know, wow, you know, like maybe there's more notes or something. It just, to me, it's like, okay, we get a wow, and then we wait for the next wow. And then once we get that wow, we wait for the next wow. And there's just a lot of sitting around waiting for the next wow to happen. And that doesn't inspire excitement. This is like medieval almost. Yeah, I agree, Katia. So there's a few things. I don't. The kick drum is big and long, and but you also have a sub bass. And when you get a big kick drum that is, you know, oh wait, I can just do it here. I wish there was an easier way to make the canvas bigger in Paint than doing this stupid shit. Whatever. Oh, fuck's sakes. So your kick drum is like boom. It's real long, right? And then at the same time, oh, I'm going to do it in blue. This is your sub bass. And from here to, you know, about here, there's significant interaction between the kick drum and the sub bass, and that makes it all flibbity flabbity. There's a lot of flibbity flabbity stuff happening. It's because down in the sub bass, you should have sub bass separation. You should have, if the kick drum's there, you could have side chaining. But if the kick drum is super long, so maybe, maybe the kick drum is this long. Now all of a sudden, you could side chain your bass so that when the kick hits, the bass is small, and then boom, it comes in and it fills in the rest. And now this is a much more well-defined bottom end, right? Because you've got your bass is getting out of the way of the kick drum, and then when the punch of the kick drum, because it's a rhythmic instrument, the punch happens, boom, and then after the boom, we get the bass comes in and fills in the tail for the bass note. So I would look into side chaining, and I would probably shorten your kick drum up, because generally speaking, you can have a long kick with a short bass or a short kick with a long bass, because you can kind of only have one thing happening at any given time in the bottom end. You can't play two things. Paint.net, if MS Paint sucks too much. I feel like that would be blasphemous for me at this point. I've used Paint for like 20 years. So yeah, I would maybe start by learning the side chaining technique. I think anytime, another thing that I find, and I'm trying to break this down to kind of bite size, like obtainable things to work on, instead of just being like, here is a trillion things to try to fix all at once. This is kind of what your track feels like. It's going along for maybe 8 bars or 4 bars or something. Then a new element happens. Okay. Then a new element happens. Then a new element happens. Then a new element happens. Then a new, like it sounds like we get 4 bars of the same thing. Then we add something and we get 4 bars of that same thing. Then we add something and add 4 bars of that same thing, and continue and continue and continue. And for sure, all music kind of has this sort of stair-stepping thing to it, but there's ways to disguise it and make it a bit more interesting. Maybe halfway through this bar, you start to build up to that. Maybe I don't know. I'm just trying to think this through, looking at it right here. But if you listen to some tracks that you like and try to break it down bar by bar and see how they're overcoming this issue, so that it doesn't just sound like you get 4 bars and then add something on top, I think that's going to really help. Or maybe we go 4 sections of 4 bars, and then instead of that, you drop out halfway here, and then you do a little woo drum fill, and then you go into this. To me, it just kind of sounds a little too. Oh no, I didn't save the Paint file. Fuck, whatever. Yeah, it feels a little too sequential. And the arpeggiator isn't really helping that either, because now we have chords playing chords, the same chords every time. And now we have an arpeggiator that's just playing those same chords, but they're arpeggiating the chords instead, and that's on top every 4 bars. So I would start there. You can really hear the bass problem here. So because you have a bunch of kick drums, and the kick drums are probably, not only are they interacting with the bass, they're also probably interacting with each other because they're so long. Oh, I'm sad that we lost that, whatever. Because, you've got a kick drum that's like, say it's this long, and you're playing it, let's do this fancy thing. You're playing it really close, so you can see all that overlap because you're playing them close to each other. So that's something to keep in mind. And then on top of that, you have your bass going. So now visually, this is kind of a representation of what's happening in your bottom end. It's just a bunch of kind of noise at that point. You've got kind of the kick drum isn't playing a note, it's playing a rumble. It's like, right? So there's no real note in the kick drum. It's overlapping itself likely. And then you also have a sub bass trying to play like whatever the bass line of the chord progression is, and it's all on top of each other. So You got to strip her back and try to figure out how to clean up the bottom end. I would start there. Oh, I'm gonna save it this time. I would start there. I'd also investigate the note where. Oh, hold on a second. I'd investigate. It sounds like two notes, like one semitone apart. That's what it sounds like to me. And sometimes you can do that. I mean, look at a seventh chord. A seventh chord has one, well, it depends if it's a major or minor. A major seventh has one semitone down from the octave. Sometimes it works, but in this situation, that note is just a little too spicy for me. That part kind of goes hard. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of like this part. It's almost like a dark, like rolling techno track. I don't know, dude. I would start there. I hope that gives you some ideas to work off of. All right, let's move on. We got Right Now. I honestly don't know what to think about that. That is so, it's like in the key of 0. Like, it's really cool, but I feel like if you could keep the whatever that's going on, but also have a sub bass that is audible, I think that might be a winning combination. Like, what if my keyboard, what? My keyboard isn't plugged in. Mother. I don't know what key it's in. I guess it. Maybe. Okay. But it goes. I think it's playing a G at this. Like, that sounds like it should go from G to B, right? That's what it sounds like to me. So let's do G to B. And let's just see if we just like. Something like that. Like keep and obviously that doesn't really sound that great because I just threw a triangle wave underneath the track, but I like it's interesting to me. This sound is new and novel and interesting, but I think you have to still have some bass, and there's kind of no bass. I mean, like the bass frequency is just so fucking low or whatever's happening. But I do think that if you kept the crazy distorted sound and somehow also had a deep bass, I think that's going to be a winning combination.
right now. We the wave right now. Right now. Right now. Right now. We the wave. Right now. Right now. Right now. We the wave right now. Right now.
This could be and maybe you know this track. This could be a good reference. I don't know. It's definitely not the same, but it's in the same ballpark.
Right now. The wave. Right now. Right now. Right now. The wave right now.
This is super cool, dude. This is very unique. I just think that it's too unique in the drop, and it's unique in the way that it has very little sub bass activity. It's just kind of like it's in the key of like 10 beats per second, you know. But yeah, try that. I think it's sick. Cool. All right, Multifox, sound design madness. Oh god, here we go. Don't like the fourth chord. The fourth chord I don't like. This is like dirty hippie dubstep. I don't know how it's always the fourth chord, but I don't like the fourth chord. I like this drop though. This is the Dirty Hippie in the Woods festival dubstep track, and I dig it. It doesn't. I don't see how it really relates to the first part. The first part's kind of like this strange, playful 8-bit chiptune thing. And then we go to Dirty Hippie, and I don't understand the connection per se, but I really do like the drop. Yeah, like da. That's the root of the chord parts, and then blah blah. That's the root of the drop, blah, versus da. I think generally need longer chord versus a lot of constant weird chords. Just my impression. Interesting take. Yeah. Okay. So the drop and the chords aren't in the same key. Okay, so we got, let's see, since my keyboard ain't working, we'll pull this. I'd still have to work on that. Yeah, I think the strengths here are really the drop is cool. And then the chords just, I don't really like the chord progression and they're in the wrong key, or at least in a different key from the drop. So that to me doesn't make the drop and the non-drop parts feel cohesive. They feel like two different songs. Maybe you should like listen to some dirty hippie dubstep and take some inspiration from what they do in the parts that aren't the drops. Like to me, this is kind of like a little evil, you know, like cool, dark, evil, moody attitude. And then the non-drop parts are basically whatever the opposite of all those words are, I think. Yeah, I mean, it's, to me, the drops are cool, dude. You're doing a good job at the sound design and that stuff. Maybe try to get away, because I notice, and I could be wrong about this, but I seem to recall that most of your chord progressions are just a straight up 4-chord chord progression. It's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. You know what I mean? And it's like maybe take a listen to some dubstep stuff like this, like that Festival Woods, you know, hippie stuff. And just try to get some inspiration from them. I don't think a lot of them are doing 4-chord kind of pop structured chord progression. I'm a basic bitch. I don't think you're a basic bitch at all, but the chord progression thing is, I think, what you need to focus on. I think that's probably the advice that I've been giving you, but it's a journey, you know? Like, you are I think this is common for all of us electronic music producers. The shiny, exciting drop sections are what we enjoy working on. The other stuff is more of a grind, because we're like, fuck, I don't even want to deal with this chord progression bullshit. I want to make cool sounds, you know? But in order for those cool sounds to live in a world and have context, you need to have the other parts of the song. You can't just have a drop, you know? Like, that's not what a song is. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe take a track that's in the same key as yours and just like straight up, as I want to clarify, as an exercise, just straight up rip their other parts off so that you can kind of dissect it and figure out what are they doing musically here to get this vibe, you know, that I'm after. I wouldn't suggest ripping them off and it being the final product, but as a learning experience, it's kind of like how people who start playing guitars, they learn how to play all the classic guitar songs, you know. They know how to play Stairway to Heaven. They learn by emulating the tracks that they love, and then they pick out, oh, I like the way he did that little slide thing, you know. And now I'm going to incorporate that into my style. I'm not going to do the whole riff that guy did, but I'm going to take that little slide thing that he did and apply it, and now that's part of my musical identity. So going through and as electronic musicians, most of us don't just play other people's songs, because we produce. We don't just sit down and start playing Wonderwall or, you know, like, but that's how a lot of musicians learn their sound, is by picking up a guitar and playing an Oasis track and playing a whatever track, playing a bunch of their favorite tracks. And then the little bits and pieces that they love from those songs work their way into their musical identity. And then now, oh, that guy sounds like a combination of Oasis and Leonard Skinner and this and that. And it's like, yeah, actually, those are some of my favorite bands, and I've taken my favorite parts of my favorite bands and applied it. So blah, 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 blah. The long TLDR is maybe just try ripping off some of the tracks you like as an exercise to learn what it is that you like about those tracks. I think that's what I have to say. But like these drops are like very classic dirty hippie dubstep, and I think he did a good drop on them. But the chord change thing is tough. Key changes very rarely work unless you're like Mariah Carey or something. You know what I'm saying? Like key changes, nah. I would say 90% of the time I hear a key change, I roll my eyes. And that's just me, but I don't think I'm alone. All right, that's what I got. Thank you. Let's move on. Me VIP. Evenly divided away. So musically, I love this. I love the guitar part. I love almost feels like Scarface or something, the movie. The drums are very quiet. In fact, I'd say everything is very quiet except the bass. Like the guitar sounds dope, but it's very loud. I think it could use some compression because there's certain parts of the guitar that really poke out. But overall, your drums, they sound like an afterthought. Like the drums are just not present in the mix at all. Like the snare is just like a very small little bit of white noise that happens every once in a while. Hello, Snad. We're listening to some music and giving our thoughts. Yeah, so like, again, musically, dope. Very dramatic. I don't necessarily like how the track is kind of, you've got like a low pass. You can kind of visually see it here in the waveform. It's kind of like, it feels like it gets going and then it kind of slows down. And then it gets going again and then it slows down. It's a little like, I feel like just fucking get going and keep it going for a while. But the biggest thing is the guitar and the bass are very loud and the drums are very quiet. This is like, now I feel like we're like 80s, like Miami Vice cop. You know, we're looking for the killer. The timing could have been a little tighter on that section, I think. Like, I feel like at some point I'm gonna fucking kick open a door and break it with my feet. Oh wait, this could be a training montage video or song. I mean, I'm training to become a cop, and I'm like punching a bag, and then a crossfade old 80s video effect into me like running upstairs or something, or like lifting weights. You're clearly a good guitar player, and your guitar tone is spot on, and I feel like you've mixed this as if you were a guitar player. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I think the biggest thing is bass and guitar too loud, drums too quiet. Cool. Let's move on. King Cobra live. King Cobra live. How this story ends. Whip!
King Cobra live.
I thought you didn't make no sense. Yeah. Guess I'm fall for the damage. Yes. I know it's too late to make amends. Hey, that's how this story ends. I thought you didn't make no sense. Guess I'm the fall for the damage. Yes. I know it's too late to make amends. Hey, that's how this story ends.
Dude, was this kick drum sponsored by Nike?
I thought you didn't make no sense.
Dude, I feel like you took offense last week where I was like, this is the most accessible King Cobra live song I've ever heard. And I was like, this is for us normies. And you're like, fuck that shit.
I thought you didn't make no sense. Guess I'm the fall for the damage. Yes. I know it's too late to make amends. Hey, that's how this story ends. Hey, dance. Guess I'm fall through the damages. I know it's too late to make amends. Hey, that's how this story ends. Hey, that's how this story
This is Michelle. I'm calling to go over some really awesome options that you have.
Oh, fuck, dude. That was hilarious. So, this is my analogy for you. I would try to give you advice, but it would be like somebody, this is what it would be like. It'd be like somebody with full face tats, right? Has tattoos all over their face, 17 piercings on their face alone. And they come to me and they're like, hey, I want to get a job as a financial advisor. What do you think I should change about myself? And I would be like, no, you know? So good job. I don't have anything to say. The end. It was certainly a journey. I will say that. Cool. Thank you for sending. Let's check out this next one. I don't know how to say any of that. Holy fuck. Okay, here we go.
私は誰
What a palate cleanser this one is. Okay, this is clearly Swiss cheese. I really like those chords, but like there's no real power to this, you know, like let me make sure I'm not doing anything dirty in the master bus. There's no real like bass. I have to buy an HDMI cable for my monitor. One of my monitors is down, so no spectrum analyzer. This is very State of Trance 2008. So I think some of it could be fixed in the master, but I don't feel like the drop sections have very much depth to them in terms of like sub bass. I don't think that's called whack. I think that's called powerful. It was so powerful it broke your computer. So yeah, I feel like everything in this mix is very gentle. I think it needs more edge. It needs more grit and power. In one way, the bass isn't deep enough, but in another way, the bass is too loud because you can see after the side chaining, that bass was what was driving my master limiter down. But that arpeggiator thing in the background is very gentle, and I think that might be causing part of the light touch vibe that I'm getting from this. It's not a bad mix. It just doesn't really hit that hard, you know? And this isn't like a bass house track that's really supposed to be like slapping me in the face, but I think it could go a bit harder in terms of like the power. Musically, it's great though. Yeah, it's almost like the bass is like, it's too loud, but maybe not deep enough. Because you can see, I mean, like this is your kick drum here, and then this is your bass. So like your limiter is really going to be driven by the bass and not the kick drum, which is not usually the way it goes. Maybe it's the kick drum maybe the kick drum is what's missing the oomph, you know? I'm going to take a fucking wild guess and say, I don't know, it sounds faster than 128. Let's see. Give me a kick drum. Any kick drum. Any kick drum will do. Fuck off. Okay, sure. And let's put you here. One. No way, it's 140. I don't know. Let's just slam another kick drum in there. Sure. Let's throw this. I don't know what key the song's in. Let's figure that out. C sharp. Whatever. Who cares about key right now? Let's just do real dirty things and see what happens. Just layering it with the track. But honestly, it kind of sounds maybe a little bit better. So that should tell you something. Let's do this. I think it might be the kick more than the bass, but it's a few things. It's not just one thing. It's just too gentle. And I'm trying to figure out how to get the gentleness out of it a little bit. It doesn't have to be super fucking rock your socks or anything, but... I don't know. None of these are sounding that good, but I'm kind of, my hands are a bit tied with the mix. So, sorry if that wasn't very helpful, Swiss cheese, but I really dig the track. It sounds very nice, but it almost sounds too nice, if that makes any sense. Ooh, I do like that kick drum though. It's a good one. That one's not so good. Anyway, okay, cool. That's what I got. Moving on to the last couple. I see we have a hot remix. That should be interesting. The Hat Man, now with real instruments and like 2 hours of recording and mixing. All right. First of all, this part is like way too quiet. The timing is a bit off on the chi-chung, chi-chung, chi-chunks. Okay, where's the kick drum? I'm not hearing a kick drum. One microphone, bro, is what I got. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I mean, you kind of need a kick drum. One microphone is going to be challenging. One microphone for a drum kit is not going to work that well, we'll say. To me, it's mostly like these peaks are snare drum. Did you play all the instruments yourself? I mean, good job playing all the instruments. The song is cool. The drums are really going to hold you back. You know, I get a set of stereo mics. You could probably buy them for like $100 on Amazon. They might suck, but they'd be better than nothing. And then a mic for the snare and a mic for the kick drum. So 4 mics on your drums at the bare minimum. And I'm not very good at recording live drums. I haven't done it in years. So, but I do know that the one, like this drum kit sounds like it was recorded with one mic because it was recorded with one mic, you know, but that's really holding it back. I really thought you were going to do the loco thing again. That's why I was like, like I thought it was going to be the loco thing again. I was convinced. Could you turn off Ozone for my hot remix? Oh, fuck. I don't know what that means, but okay. Yeah, I mean, like, the track is cool. You're clearly a talented musician, but you got to step up your recording game. The one mic's not going to work, and I've said that 14 times. I'm not going to say it anymore. Oh. I wonder if we could, like, just, like... Where's the kick supposed to... You know, maybe just, like, put a fucking kick in there? You know, it kind of sounds like you like Primus. This sounds like you like Primus. Yeah, see, like, that's another thing because you don't have any stereo. Like, the side channels are just literally your guitar. And then the mid channels are your drums and bass. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Besides, I would, if you're gonna do, and I'm pumped that you were recording real instruments. Do not get me wrong. This is a great move. However, in order to do that successfully, you will require some financial investment into more microphones so that you can, you know, pursue a better drum sound. Okay, cool. Let's check out the last one of the day. Hot remix. Here we go. Oh, wait, I'm gonna turn off Ozone. This is cool. So let me ask you this. Did you use the stems or did you use just the full track? So I dig it. I like where this is going. I think the thing that I would say is it feels a little crowded. Like there's a lot of really cool things happening, but that's also kind of the problem. There's a lot of really cool things happening. You know what I mean? Like I can hear there's a lot of elements. And the reason I asked you if you used the stems or not, Recreated the synth from the YouTube tutorial. That's cool. The reason I asked you if you use the stems or not is because I hear like a cool drop in here, but it almost sounds like you should take out some of the stems that are in there so that it's more simplified. Did I skip something? All of my stems for all of my songs are on my Discord channel or Discord server. It's like part of my release thing. I haven't released a song in a long time, but I would release the track and put the stems out. Like that was like release day. I'd put out the track, put it on the YouTube, and upload the stems to my Discord channel for all my songs.
That's hot.
Like for example, right here. There's like a cool rhythmic thing happening, but I think there's two cool rhythmic things happening, and it just kind of sounds like a blah, blah, blah. And just like moments like that. For the pew, I would take everything else out. Like maybe not the kick and the sub bass to still have the power there, but take out like the rave generator, like dun, dun, like take that out and just have pew. I think you have to get more like ninja with the sounds, you know, like take out everything except this thing, but then put everything back in and then take it out and put this thing in. Like it's a bit more choosy with what sounds you use at any given instant in the song. Again, right here, you kind of have dun, 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 or something. There's like that stuttery thing, but it's being messed up by all the stuff underneath there. You know, I can kind of hear what you're doing, but it's not easy to hear that dun, 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 because there's also the dun, dun underneath of it, and there's like maybe hi-hats going and shit like that. So it's kind of like going through and deleting as much shit as you can without losing. If you delete an element from that and it's like it doesn't sound any worse, then you have increased the value, because now there's less clutter, there's less distraction from cool sounds. The only reason you have more than one sound happening at once is if they're playing off of each other in an interesting way, you know, not just to have more layers all at the same time for no reason. So I would say go through and get a bit more surgical with exactly, is it dun da or is it dun da 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 da, you know, like what is it? And then really make it that and nothing else. Like that. I don't even know what that was. It sounds like there's some cool shit in there, but I couldn't quite hear what it was.
Get it while it's hot.
I like the use of the VIP stem there. Yeah, so if you go to... Oh, fuck, it's been so long, honestly. I am really going to try to release a song before the end of this year, though. Where the fuck is stems? Fowler stuff? Fowler stems. There you go. These are all the stems for all my songs. So go steal as much as you want. Okay, that's it for today. I am going to piss myself very shortly. So hopefully... Oh, that's the wrong button. There we go. Okay, I love you. Thanks for hanging out. And I will see you next week. I'll put up I think I'm probably just going to put up the thread for submitting probably like the day of. I hope that's okay. Or maybe I'll just sit down one day and crank out like an entire year's worth of threads for the Discord server. But anyway, have a good weekend. Glad you guys came. I guess that's maybe what they say at an orgy. I don't know. Let's move on. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.